Why do you own a Ducati Panigale V4S? It literally makes no sense to put a license plate on a supersport making over 200 horsepower. Is it because your name is Chad and you needed to prove to your finance bros that you're cool? Sure, your vehicle is faster and your wiener is bigger, but let's be real. Have you ever hit full throttle? Have you even taken it out of rain mode? Have you looked at your monthly payment lately? Or maybe you're Marc Marquez and Ducati gave you one so that you could go race for them, because that's really who should be riding this motorcycle. I don't even know why I'm making this video. I have no business being on this stupid bike.
Now, before we even get out there on the road, this thing makes 214 fucking horsepower. All of you people in the comments are going to laugh at me for the way that I'm riding this down a street. This is not built to do this. It just isn't. So I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear that I'm not pushing this motorcycle, because of course I'm fucking not. The speed limit's 35. The first gear tops out at damn near 100 fucking miles an hour. I don't know what to tell you. If you want to see this thing go really, really fast around a racetrack, Yammy Noob probably has some videos. I think he's got a Ducati V4 that he rides at a racetrack. Okay, rant over. Let's go ride this thing in some Twisties. There's nowhere to put my camera rig. So I only have my 360 camera providing a second angle. And it's in street mode. I don't need all 214 horsepower for this. Woo! Picking the wheel up already. There is no better motorcycle to take through a corner, I think, than a Ducati Panigale. This is one of the most sophisticated race bikes ever put on a racetrack. It literally has MotoGP trickle-down technology in it, and you can feel it when you put it through a corner. But the thing is you have to ride it the way it wants to be ridden. You can't ride it on your own terms. This is a motorcycle designed to put down the fastest lap time humanly possible on world-class circuits ridden by the top 1% of riders. I am maybe in the top 25% of riders. Maybe. The best thing I can say about it is the power band is so broad that I don't really need to shift corners, right? Or shift gears when I'm going through the corners. I can just put it in third gear and I've got enough power to get in and out. Of course I do. It's got 214 horsepower. And it's surprising how usable that power actually is. I was kind of expecting it to be a lot peakier. I haven't gotten anywhere close to redline on this bike, because this is the sort of thing that happens. And I end up short shifting it, not because of mechanical mercy, but just because the bike enters hyperspace before I get to redline. The bike is going so fast. What is the point? It just looks good, and it sounds amazing. Let's do that run all in first gear. Let's just do it in first gear and see what happens. First gear, no shifting. Oh, this is hard to ride. "75 miles an hour, it starts flashing. I gotta shift. That's nice. At least I have to interact with the gearbox, because the quick shifter is so amazing on this thing. I'm not gonna lie, I have a huge smile on my face right now. You can't see it, but the sound and the experience of the speed, it's unreal. It's intoxicating. And I can't tell you how amazing these brakes feel. Like, oh, it's throwing me over the handlebars. I really have to push and grab with my knees. You have to be a physical specimen to really ride this thing. It helps that I'm pushing like 265 on a squat, which is pretty low, but it allows me to be able to move around in here and actually ride the motorcycle properly, kinda. Let's be honest, I'm not properly riding this motorcycle because I'm not on a racetrack. I'm just out here goofing off. There's, because of the way I'm breathing, there are literal beads of sweat going down the inside of my visor. Part of that is because I've got a workout going, and partially, this motorcycle is just so freaking hot. To roll on the throttle on this thing and feel it through a corner, even though I'm just barely scratching the surface of what this is capable of. Let me suit up and go win a title. That's what it feels like. But dear God, I have to get off this motorcycle. My wrists are screaming. So let's pull this thing over, go over some of the specs and some of the stuff that I'm really loving and some of the stuff I'm not digging.
Okay, so we have to talk about the specs on this thing because the numbers are just absolutely insane. So this thing is powered by an 1103cc V4, putting down 214 horsepower and a little over 91 foot-pounds of torque while weighing in at 430 pounds. That makes this like the 1% of motorcycles. There are very few bikes that make enough power to touch this thing, and there are very few bikes that deliver it quite like this thing does. I also wanted to show you the ergonomics on this thing because they're mental. They're the most aggressive ergonomics I've felt in, I don't know, maybe ever. They're absolutely wild. You're co-signing on basically owning a sawhorse. Your wrists are at knee height, your heels are up under your butt. You have to be here the whole time. You have to have your elbows out. You have to be in the screwdriver grip. You're committed when you're riding this thing. If you ride it kind of like this, it just doesn't work. It feels horrible and you're just gonna wanna die the whole time. And for anybody wondering, am I gonna do a highway section in this video? Fuck no! I would rather die than ride this on the highway. And that's actually where we can start talking about some of the stuff that I love and I don't love about it. So first of all, the ergonomics are just, unless you're on a racetrack, they don't work. They do not work unless you're riding it the way this bike wants to be ridden. But I feel like anybody who's buying this motorcycle understands that. Another thing, this thing doesn't come with cruise control. It's like, fuck your creature comforts, go ride this on a racetrack. Kind of wild for a bike that's still $24,000 to not have cruise control, but it has literally all the other technology. It's got heated grips apparently too. It's got a button for heated grips. I don't think they're actually on the bike because these are domino grips, but there's a button for it so you can add it. I don't know why you would. Now, you heard me mention it while we were out on the road, but these brakes are some of the best I've ever felt in my entire life. They're huge. They're absolutely huge rotors, and the brake feel is instant but still progressive. They slow the bike down so fast that they slow the bike down almost as fast as the engine accelerates this thing. They're just held back by freaking aftermarket levers, man. Why with the aftermarket levers? This is where the like thing starts to bite. Just get that crap off of the Ducati and put the stock ones back on. Another one of my great crusades in life is to get people to understand that at this price point, spending money on levers is stupid. Just use the ones that are on there. They're phenomenal. Brembo doesn't make bad levers. I'm sorry. The CRG ones they don't feel good and they're letting the bike down. And why would you make your bike worse? Something that absolutely does not make the bike worse is that exhaust. It's the most exotic sound you're going to get on a motorcycle. It's so cool. I'm a huge fan of the Aprilia V4. In fact, I like the way the Aprilia V4 makes its power. I like the way it sounds. But when you're riding this thing, it's very clear you are riding
the Ferrari of motorcycles. The way that this thing sounds, especially when you get it up to the top of the power band, which doesn't happen all that often, at least not for me, it's ungodly how good it is. And then just to pair it with the looks on this thing, it's unmistakably Ducati. It's a statement piece sitting there on the side stand. It's the biggest flex you could throw at anybody, is just to roll up on a bike like this. Yeah, it's from 2021, but who cares? It's still a V4S. It still makes more power than most of the motorcycles on the street. It's still got wings that say, I'm about going fast and you are too slow to handle it. This is genuinely one of the most special motorcycles on the road. There's really not a lot that can throw down with this thing. In fact, I think only the RSV4 and the M1000RR can do it. I don't know, man. I'm kind of at a loss for other stuff to say about it, because it really does just speak for itself. So I guess the question is it worth the 24 grand, maybe? I don't know. We're just gonna go hit the road, and I'm gonna try to put my thoughts back together on this thing, because it's really, really hard for me to put into words how excellent this thing is. Now, you probably heard me say earlier that we're not riding the highway on this motorcycle, and that's because it just sucks. It can do it. It can do big fat pulls all day long, but it's uncomfortable, it's hot, and it's not where this motorcycle is meant to be. And if you're riding a bike like this, you understand. That is why I wanted to shout out today's sponsor, Calimoto, because not only will it get you to the twistiest roads in your area, you can also minimize time on the highway. It only takes a few seconds to plan a route, and you can share a route with your buddies just as easily. They also just rolled out an Android Auto update, which just makes it even more easy to use while you're on the road. If any of this sounds good to you, click the link down in the description below where you can try it for free for 30 days using the code here, or you can get 10% off an entire year subscription by using this code right here. With that, let's get back to it.
You know, I'm not just acting it up. I'm not playing like I don't have a lot of words to say about this motorcycle, because I really don't. I really don't. It's hard for me to review a bike like this. This isn't really a review. It's mostly just me admitting that I'm not worthy. And I think that there's a point in your life when you realize that fact, when you realize that just certain bikes are not for you. The topic of that video where Dave the Jixer went head-to-head with a V4S, or maybe it was a V4R, I don't remember. But it was the one where Zach and Ari tried to figure out what benefit there was for a new bike over an old one. And so they put these leader bikes head-to-head, and they found that this bike was slower. They did everything they could, and they basically came down to the shock. And I would like to posit that it's not the shock. It's just that this bike is not meant for us mere mortals. And I think Zach and Ari blur that line between normal people and motorcycle aliens, but there's still more on the normal people side of it. And I feel like that video is honestly, looking back at it, it feels like one of the most cleverly executed pieces of rage bait almost. Of course it was gonna piss people off. The people who are on old leader bikes are gonna champion it to the ends of the world, because their motorcycle, even though it's not their motorcycle can beat a Ducati V4S, and the Ducati people were just gonna white knight so hard about their bike. And I guess I'm coming down on the side of the Ducati people, kind of, but anybody who watched that video and thought to themselves, I need to get myself a Ducati V4S and a new shock because Zach and Ari found that the shock causes this issue, where I'm not gonna be that fast. And anybody who's doing that, I suggest that you reevaluate your life. I don't mean that mean. I really don't. My Super Duke is so far beyond my capability to ride that on the racetrack, I ride it in street mode. This is even faster, even more capable, even more aggressive. It's just the number of people I've met and actually shared words with who are probably able to wrangle this kind of power, this sort of machine to its limits. Maybe I can count them on 2 fingers. Seriously, I don't know anybody personally who's capable of using this machine. I really don't. But then I think about, well, why put a plate on it? Because it's a flex, because it looks cool, because it sounds cool, because it makes you feel cool, and that's okay. That's okay. There's a reason why I spent that much money on my Super Duke. I spent like 13 or 14 grand on it because it's cool and it's fun and I love to ride it. And it's okay to spend that kind of money. You don't need to use it to its limit. Would I spend 24 grand on this bike? Hell no. But this thing is just, it's not my style. I would much rather get a Street Fighter V4. If I was going to get a Ducati V4, it'd be a Street Fighter V4. And I'm lining one up to review. Because I think the problems that I have with this bike are going to disappear in the Street Fighter. But if this is your thing, accept no substitute, man. Accept no substitute. And that's about all I can come up with on this one. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Kind of an interesting video. I don't not recommend this bike, but I also caution somebody who's looking at it to truly be honest with themselves. Or maybe you just want to flex. Because if you want to flex, I've had so many people stop today and tell me how awesome this bike is. But yeah, let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.